name is Ray Hill, and on behalf of myself and Clemens Shortsingers, who's been our supporter and technical backup for years, I'd like to welcome you all to our March edition of in 2026 of GemQuest. GemQuest is a nonprofit, nonpartisan gem education programming that's been going now for over 6 years, and we've covered a vast variety of subjects that involve the world of gemology and jewelry. So today we're going to be dealing with something a little different, and we'll get there in a minute. Before I start, though, I want to just give homage to one of our viewers and participants who no longer will be joining us, not because he's gone, but because he's been ill and felt that at 101 he'd contributed as much as he could, and he had. So Harold Killingback, thank you for your support and your involvement over the years of that we've been programming. Just wanted to give a heads up that Harold is retired and pulled away from being one of our regulars. Our presenter today used to collect, cut, and market the rarest of mineral gems from around the world under the name of Freakingcat. His selection was by far the best in the world. Today, he's a private person, although not a gemologist himself, knows how to use gemological instruments and has had the help of some of the top experts in the Far East over the years to help him identify the rare and the exotic. He lives in Thailand and is now willing to share for the first time in decades his collection with us today. He spent a lot of time in Burma or Myanmar and became friends with many of the gemstone dealers there over the years, who were keen to share their unknowns with him or materials from new pockets that they had uncovered, which gave him an unmatched and unparalleled access to rare and unusual from one of the gem treasure holes of the world. One of the experts that was a great help to him over the years in identifying materials he found was Dr. Peretti of Bangkok, along with also Dr. Massey. Our presenter has been instrumental in adding to the Raman base of information on mineral gems. Over the years, his cutting factory employed a master cutter who has now come out of retirement with her 40 plus years of experience cutting rare materials, is instrumental in helping him grow his personal collection, as that is what he's focusing on now, is expanding and growing his rare collection now that he is retired. In recent months, he stepped into the technical arena, employing someone I haven't been able to do yet, an AI, to help him organize and show his collection. So although he's retired and he's definitely not a young guy anymore, but he still is an aficionado of the rarest of gems, and has definitely stepped into the modern age with AI. And I'd like you to welcome our guest tonight, or today actually, Arthur Birago. Arthur, we'll give the stage to you.
Hello, everybody. Greetings from Thailand. Here it's 1 in the morning, and I'm very, very happy to meet you all. I feel really, really honored because I saw the list of now it's 25 people participating, and this is my first Zoom meeting, so it's all pretty new. Please excuse it. But I see very big names. I see people who are for decades, and you mentioned Harold before, who went into the real retirement with 102 years, well deserved. But you see, what I see here, even I'm not an expert, I'm not a gemologist, I'm a collector, I'm a layman, but I think what all connects us is this passion. It's not just an obsession, like in my case, a little bit, a medical disorder, some call it, to hunt always for the rare after rare. But for us, it's a love and it's a passion for the best the earth has to offer. We are honest to the earth, our planet. You all know there's everywhere there are rocks, there are stones, there are treasures hidden. For me, it was always treasure hunting. And since I'm young, I started to go after stones, and instead of collecting quantity, I wanted to see what else is there. What do other people not have? What is possible? So my obsession with hunting the rare of the rare was always a kind of test with myself, questioning what is rare, what is the borderline of rare, how we define rareness of a mineral, because as it happened so many times, if I went to a place in Myanmar or in other parts of this wonderful planet, if I went there and I meet some collectors, some traders, they showed me some stones I have not heard before. I didn't know they would come from this location. And I was very, very excited just to find out that they found more and more and more. And after a few months, when it was mostly commercially, I wouldn't say exploited, but somebody made a lot of money, a rare stone became something people shrug their shoulders. I looked at it, what is rarity? And instead of pushing the boundaries like I did for so many years when I ran a business, I'm doing now something totally different. I am looking at the provenance. And provenance is for me the difference between a rock and a wonderful natural artifact of nature. Provenance, the knowledge where a mineral comes from, how it, if it was treated. A mineral has a history. It was found by somebody trying to get information about this. This was always what kept me going. This is why I traveled my whole life to many countries, spoke with people. As a layman, I sat down. I wanted to speak with miners, retired miners sometimes. How was it working in a mine? How did you discover this and this deposit? Why did you find this stone? I mean, you were zinc mining, for example, in Spain. How did you come and find sphalerite? And the miner gave me exactly the answer. He said, oh, we found a piece, big piece of rough sphalerite, big as a man's head. And of course, it was dirty. We took it out, look at it. We put some water on it in the sun, and we saw it as beautiful color. We smashed it, it fell down. It's not a hard mineral, but we looked at the crystals, and in the sunlight, we saw how beautiful it was. So it touched something in this tough miner. I mean, we were drinking even when he was 80 years old already, but he told me all the stories about this sphalerite mine in Spain, which is closed for a long time now. And he touched something which is so important. He said, I asked him, why did you take the sphalerites? Why do you have sphalerites still in your basement after all the years? And I bought quite a lot of sphalerites rough for him. He said, they were so beautiful. The whole day I was mining, commercial mining, zinc mining, and so on. And sometimes we found a bit of sphalerite, these pieces. They were so beautiful. So it touched something humanly in him. You don't throw it away. He found a treasure and he knew it. It all his life in his basement until a crazy guy like me came, gave him money for this, and took it to Thailand many years ago, cut it up, and presented it. So this I just want to tell you, even I come from a layman's perspective, this passion I want to transmit it, and I want to show you what I did in the past and what is the future. So I made a small show. Let me see if I can share it. Let's see. Okay. It's all new for me. Okay. I hope everybody can see this now. I will just go through it, and please, if I say things which are wrong, please forgive me. You all know better, and I'm happy to learn. I always say when I was going for stones, I didn't buy stones, I didn't buy rough things. What I did was when I sat with the people, let's look at it together. Let's look at the rough material. Let's look at the crystal. Let's share the stories around it. How did you find it? Where coming from? What could it be? How can we identify it? What is the next step? For me, it was always something which came from my heart. But so this is why I'm very, very privileged that you invite me. But then this happened. As I said, Freakingcat, my gemstone company, which I started very, very small with no knowledge about anything. I just needed to make a living in Thailand, and I came from India at that time. I was knowing some stones from a beautiful, wonderful spiritual teacher who recently passed away. He taught me the love of stones, but his approach was their healing. was like, what? Yeah, all this mumbo jumbo thing, healing and so on. It was his approach. I could not deal with it. I come from the science side, not on a level where you are on, but I came from the side I wanted to know. I was interested. Why is this stone blue? Why is this stone a color change under UV light? When was UV light discovered? Who was the first person who could see stones? Who noted this first? So I started to ask a lot of questions and became interested. And all this information, and I'm a little bit of a geek, I was writing down. I just wrote it down, and at this time when I ran my business, you see 2003 until 2012, it was tough. I needed a work permit. I made a company. I had to employ Thai staff. I had to have accountant taxes and had a million problem and worked every day 12 hours. I had to produce a lot of stones to pay the cutter. I had my own cutting factory to train them. I had to buy rough material. And what started as a fascination, as a love for nature, for these beautiful things, the time I had to look at it, it was all gone. It became business. I still enjoyed, and I still do, the personal contact with people who appreciate it, but the time became so limited. So 2012, I was burned out. Thailand was in turmoil, 2010, there was political crisis, everything was flooded. I just had enough. The business on eBay, I sold most on eBay. That was my first contact with the market. I could not handle it. I went to a lot of gemstone fairs, and it was wonderful to meet many of you people personally, of the collectors, of the cutters, of the traders, of the eBay customers who just bought a stone for me and just wanted to meet me. It was wonderful to have this experience, but I felt very much I did it all. I tried to collect up to 1,000 different stones, and I took everything in. I mean, it was not high quality. It was just to make the list. It was an obsession. Will I be the first one? Or maybe there are other people who have more. I really don't know if somebody kept it a secret to crack the 1,000 gemstone mark. Where do I go from there? And I realized it's going nowhere. This is not what I want to do. This is not what the gemstones, the minerals, the rocks, the crystals, the miners, the traders, all these people who were involved in the history of these stones, in the provenance of these stones deserve. That I just do it as a business and cut as many as possible, work with Excel sheets and just sell it on, having not the time. So I closed it. I sold 2012 my entire collection, which was online, to a big UK TV company who were selling gemstones online. I don't want to tell the name. They are wonderful. I had a good contact. I know the owner. This owner is a good friend of mine, very knowledgeable, and he said, I'm really interested. He wanted to know about the stones, and this opened my eyes. I always said I don't want to sell my company. What should I do? My collection. But he approached me differently, and he told me, listen, I want to introduce it to the world. I want to show it via TV to other people. Sell it to me. And I did. We agreed for a price, but it was included that he flew me to the UK and I recorded a lot of tapes speaking about rare stones. It was days and days of recording. It was a challenge, but I really liked it. It was something I left behind. What I recorded was the personal stories. I will take later a little bit more, but with this, with a heavy heart, but I was happy to move on. So my business is closed. And as some people said, did he fall off the other side of the moon? Because yes, I was really gone. I didn't want to have anything to do, not in bitterness, but I want to try to move on. And I did many different things in my life. I won't go into detail. And now the last 4 years, I have been living in India. I was taking care of street dogs. I was running a dog shelter for street dogs with 300 dogs, and it was really very tough to fundraise to take care of them. And we got the shelter up, but because of the corruption of some people who insisted the shelter has to be destroyed because of some road speculation, my visa for India was suddenly not extended, and I had to leave quickly. I never thought, suddenly I thought what to do. So I decided to go back to Thailand because I really like Thailand and I wanted to retire. I'm now over 50. I still try to look young with the tattoos and so on, but the hairs are getting less and less. Still, I'm happy to be here. And I arrived here with one suitcase, my two dogs, a broken heart, and I thought what to do. I'm not in Bangkok. I don't like the hustle and bustle, but it is my retirement. I got a retirement visa, and then what should I do? Well, the first thing what I did after I found a place to live, I had to visit my dear friend. This friend was connected with me for many years since I had the gemstone business. I had part of my personal collection, which consists of different parcels which I left in different countries. There's something in Austria, there are some stones in other countries, but there's a lot of stones in Thailand. These were part of my personal private collection. It was never for sale. It was not part of the deal. It was something which I cherished. And these stones are not just the best stones, because sometimes I gave my best stones away, and it was not always the money. It was not just money, money, money. It was never a business. But I had collectors, and they showed me their pictures, they showed me their lists of their collection, and I knew this stone is really missing, and they said, I just have a miserable placeholder. Can you please help me? And I felt very much like a distributor. I thought, in this long link, which I will talk a little bit later, I'm just somebody who hands it on, who distributes this nature's best to people who give it a home, a place, who cherish it, where it's not forgotten, the history, not for money, not in a, for, to be land in a safe and never looked at, not as a number on a spreadsheet, but somebody who liked it. And this is what combines us all. We are all somehow collectors and gemologists. So this was the reason I closed, and this is the reason I came back in. Let me show you. When I came back in, I thought what to do. I had my stones. I loved looking at them the first 2 weeks. It was like Christmas, unpacking parcels, looking at it. But then I realized what I want to do. Now I'm retired. What I do not want to do, I will not go back to business. I will not make another company, start cutting, selling again. I don't do it. But what is the other option? I can still live behind the moon. I can still live isolated, but I really want to look at my collection. I want to curate it. I want to have, now I'm retired, I have time to spend time on it. I can look at every piece. I can research it. And there the second factor came together. I not only kept my stones, I kept all the data. And the data I have from bags of stones where I had some notes written, scrambled on it, which I start to digitalize now, to 10,000s of emails from collectors, traders, miners, gemologists, everybody speaking, of course, about gemstones, stones, and rough. And I never deleted them, and Google kept them all. Then I have a lot of notes when I went around, and I have a lot of pictures, and I just uploaded these pictures, but they're all time-stamped. I'm very interested in new things, in always pushing the things. So after India, which was really animals and living in nature, off the grid, barely any internet, barely any electricity, I'm living now in a high-tech world with fast internet, Thailand, wonderful food, love it, and I have my beautiful collection with me and play like a kid with pebbles, which I did actually, like we all did. So now I have my stones, and I realized let's combine things, but I don't want a company. I'm not doing this, and a company means if I go through all my records, my notes, the emails, I would need a whole research staff, three, four people going through this, looking at it, transcribing things, making folders. There must be another way. And there is another way. And I know some of you might roll their eyes and, oh no, AI, this is all this nonsense. What I constantly see, I don't know if it's real or not, unless I count the fingers. It's all these annoying things my children or grandchildren show me, and I don't find it funny. I prefer to look at objects which don't move, like stones, and look at them and don't talk back. And now we have all this squeaking on the internet, and my avatar, the Freakingcat, looks the same. Yes, but it fits to me also, and it fits to what I'm doing, my layman's approach. So I said, okay, how about I can use AI to it? And in the last few weeks, I'm not in retirement because I study a lot. I learned a lot and I love it. I'm very productive. I learned how to program AI agents. I installed this open clausing. I trained the agents. I run it independently and I was soaking up information. And I love it. My mind was again spinning. And then I have my stones beside me. I have all my old notes. I lift the tails. I was feeding the AI, I was learning and said, can you actually index all my emails, 10,000 of them on different accounts? Sure, it could. And then I can ask the AI on my phone, can you look up? I remember 2014, maybe 2012, there was a trip I did to this and this country. I bought this and this stone. Can you look up? There was an email. For me, with Google search and so on, you know you never find information. And this AI does everything, finds the perfect information, finds the exchange. I can find the old buying prices, my notes, handwritten notes. I look at it in these plastic bags. I put handwritten notes. I digitalize it and the AI can read it. And I tell the AI very simple, make a database about this gem. My personal stories, I talk to the AI. I don't even have to type, even I'm quite fast. But I can tell a story, what happened to this stone and so on. And suddenly I realized the curation was a beautiful, fun exercise. All these horrible things, Excel sheets, which I still don't understand. My best friend, my AI agents are doing it. And I have 5 of them now. They all have cute names, and one is Freakingcat. You can see it in my background. It's an avatar, and actually Freakingcat is curating everything because most of the thing is AI generated. So when I had this information that I can do it, I had to find a legal way. The legal way is that my dear friend, whom I know, oh my God, for many, many years, has a company. And this friend said, look, you have a private collection and you have to host it. I know you don't care about selling, it will not do business, but you have to host it. And by hosting it, it's already a legal thing. So here's this company, and he said, okay, we make an agent contract, you have a private contract, you have the right to liquidate it if you want. Even I find this word horrible. If I want to share it. I want to get in contact with collectors, with gemologists. I enjoy every time somebody sends me a message and we can talk about stones. And this I put in a legal framework with the somebody who handles all the shipping, the logistic, the packing, and so on. And I can still focus on what I like most, working with the stones, with the history, connect my history of it, because it has been quite a lot of years, even from a layman standpoint. Because why? Now I present a small part of the collection. It's just the first 400 stones uploaded. And if you look at it, it is not advertisement. I'm not making a sales show. And soon we start to look at the really nice stones. I prepared some, but I just want to show you where I'm going and what we're doing here. Nowadays, eBay, I used to have a feedback of 15,000 feedback. I had to start with zero again. I said, I don't care. Thailand, eBay regulations doesn't matter. I uploaded and everything has changed on eBay. Everything you have to fill out so many forms, tons of information I want to know. And at some part I said, why not? I like it. It's not just for selling and the algorithm. A lot of information, the more information, the better. And and this was one approach. Then I looked at the eBay and I can see I can put in up to 300 different categories. And I, of course, maxed it out. So for every category, I uploaded 1 or 2 stones maximum, just to show a big variety. And who are the people on eBay? This was the biggest wonderful thing. The moment I went online and I just uploaded the first stones 4 weeks ago, a lot of former customers contacted me, but not as customers, as friends, as fellow lovers. For so many years, 15, 20 years, they also grew older. Their collection aged. And they were eager that I'm finally there. I said, you're still there. Are you the same freaking cat? I said, yes, yes. Are you selling? I said, no, I'm not selling. I mean, there's a few items on offer. Fine. It covers some costs. The company is handling this, but I'm happy to be in contact. And what is the difference is the next page, and then we come really to the stones, okay? It's this one. When you look at a sample of the eBay template, you can see something on the bottom. It's called Freakingcat's Gemstone database. When you look at it, and here it's on eBay and on my website, you see the whole database about pynite, for example. And it's too small to read. There's a story how I received the pynites, and I will tell it a bit later because we talk about pynites later. I can give my personal story, a story which happened to me, why the stone was so dear, not just because it was the rarest in the world and hyped like crazy, just 3 piece, but how I got hundreds of pynites suddenly. But then I can also share information to all the people who look at this stone. They don't have to buy it. To look at it, they see the heritage and discovery. Why is it significant? Why is it an important stone? Not just in gemological terms, in the history, in the cultures. Then the discovery. How was it discovered? By whom? Where does it got the name from? Which important mines? How is it connected? And then the mineralogical profile. What colors? What is, and at the end, even the chemical structure. So all these great things. And what the AI is doing, not only is it posting all the things automatically, it does something which is, for me, mind-blowing. And this is where the power of AI comes in when it really meets gemology, because we work with a lot of data and we want to connect the data and present it in a way that other collectors are interested, read it. So what I wrote, what the AI actually wrote, I just told the AI, write it please in a way that everybody who comes here has an interest to look at it, because maybe they want to buy it, maybe they're on eBay, or someone heard about this stone, can read it. Not just of the level from the top gemologist who see other things, but somebody wants to know the provenance. Somebody wants to know where it comes from. Is it a personal story? And yes, it is personal. Gemstones, crystals are friends. This is how I always treat it, and this is what I want to show people. And this is what the AI does. And one more fact, which is just mind-blowing, it's a combination between my personal story, which I just feed into my system, and the AI agents they steal. They go on the best sites out there, and congratulations to Jolion and to everybody who made Mindat and Gemdat. They have evolved like crazy in the last 15 years. And my AI agents appreciate it because they take all the information, they cross-reference it, and they use it. So every information you see of every stone is AI generated, contains some of my information, creates a provenance, a public provenance of this mineral, gives it in a background, and informs a buyer in a friendly way. And this is for me something where the future lies. So, and I don't want to bore you now, okay? This was a big thing of gemology marrying AI agents, and I love them. So let's go to the funny part. Let's talk about gems. And you see, this is Freakingcat. He's my alien. He was always there, but he also evolved. And now he helps him to look at stones. When we talk with something which nobody's probably excited, and probably some people think now of pressing the leave button about soda light, but I just want to use it as one example. I will not present hundreds of different stones here, just to make it clear. They will come slowly. Many are still not unpacked and are still unpacked, and I have to look at it. But everything is a work in progress. It's a project in progress, and I intend to live until the age of 102, so there's hopefully a lot of things to come. But let's look at the soda light. Just, I want to show you how the cutting, and I know there's many amazing gemstone cutters out there, can have an influence. We will later talk about difficult cutting, but here what you see is just a simple lazurite, but from the famous Sar-e-Sang area in Badakhshan, Afghanistan. I will talk later a little bit about the history, but you know it better than me. But look at the cutting from the back side. I like this piece especially because you see a bit of the mother stone is beautifully put on the back side. It doesn't distract from the beauty of the stone, from the history and its thousands of years old, of the blueness, which influence cultures and royalties and everything. But it also gives for me credit to where it comes from. It still was attached to a rock of a mineral. You all know better than me what it is and so on. And you know exactly the combination, but it's like two in one. It's like a beautiful synthesis. It's part of me. With this cutting, it's a piece of art for me, showing a wonderful executed gemstone with something where it comes from, the nature, the crystal structure, the main thing. So it's just a good example of what I want to transmit to you. And here it is. It's this area. And what I show you, this thing is Sarisan area, and here are the great people who mine. I had the privilege to meet some miners, even I was not in Afghanistan. It's still a dream location, but I'm not going at the moment. But I was in many other things. I met miners, and I was always amazed. The work we underestimate. We look at a nice crystal, it comes clean, nice, and comes in the labs. We look at it. I see the rough sometimes from a cellar. I weight it. It's all perfect. But if you see it, how it comes out of the earth, and some of you have this experience, this joy you never know. It is indeed the earth. It is a gift from the earth, and it was never seen before. Nobody else saw it and dropped it back. It was something was you are the first person, the first consciousness who looks at it and you appreciate it. It touches you with something. It looks at it as something precious. Even it's just a stone of a different color. But it's a stone also like lapis lazuli, which changed history. Here, Tutankhamun, you know it, the colors, it started thousands of years ago, and it was always a part in an important culture. And I'm very sure that when the Egyptians bought it, I think through the Iraqis, I might be wrong, and used it thousands of years ago for for their amulets, for all these kind of religious things, and also in the mask of Tutankhamun, besides some Libyan desert glass, and I'm quite sure they knew what it was. When they look at this material, they kind of value where it comes from. It was very difficult. It took probably months until it reached. It was super expensive. Only the high class could have it, could work with this. It was always a devotion to the God, which is always a prayer to nature. It is always a praise where it comes from. And I think they appreciate it. Many might not even know where it really comes from, but I'm sure they paid respect. And nowadays, I'm really shocked because so many things, especially if the solar light group, are entirely wrong. Most of the solar light groups of the solar lights, and you all know it, sorry, it's a layman talking, come from the Sai Sang area. And many people just say it comes from Pakistan because why? It's directly on the border, and for hundreds of years, for thousands of years, material is smuggled over the border, and it comes to the traders in Peshawar, it goes down the market, and whoever has been to Peshawar knows the market. Everything comes there is declared as Pakistani origin. But nowadays, let's look at other things of the solar light group. Here you have a path of solar light which I found. Small, 0.1, 0.2 carats, very clean. And I finally got a camera and a UV light, and I learned there are different UV lights because I was really not knowledgeable. And I took a few pictures, and I love this UV color change. Beautiful stuff. But then I also found another parcel, correctly labeled. I'm very happy that I labeled it Afghanite. Same area. I looked up, my AI, Freakingcat looked it up, confirmed, same area, was different dealer. Okay, I looked at the UV light, and really, yes, the picture I'm sorry is not very good. I'm just learning it, but it was different. But it's not solar light. But then I try to catch up with the gemstone trade again, and I look at videos, and I could not go to the last Tucson fair. I was just arriving in Thailand and getting started again, which is not easy with my dogs. And starting with, as I said, one suitcase, but a nice big bag of gemstones. But I was looking, catching up, and I saw a video, a YouTube report of a guy who checks stuff out. And he was in Tucson at the fair, and he saw many Haunites, Hauns, Haunites. I give it a German pronunciation because for me it still comes from Germany. But everybody had it. And I was like, hey, I missed something. And I remembered, yes, yes, I heard something many years ago. But when I was already exited the market on the other side of the moon, doing crazy stuff, and I was still collecting more and more rough. and other stones in the meanwhile, so it was not over for me, but I missed something. But everything what he was so seeing in Tucson was Haonite, Haonite, Haonite. And he looked around, he tested it, he checked it. It was Afghanite. It was, look at this, Scarpolite, purple Scarpolite. Nowadays, people sell it as Hakmanite. And I couldn't believe it. They sell it with a certificate on eBay, on all the markets. And I'm shocked because it is Scarpolite. I have the records where it's come from. I know that this was a gemologist who sold them to me, and I was collecting locations, location, location, and I love, who doesn't, UV gems. So this is sodalite, but it was again misclassified. So what's going on? And you know where it leads again to provenance. But here I finally bought, it's recently cut. They are right here. I just played with them today, and I literally play because I love them. My cutter, who works for 40 years, just just cut them because I want to see what this material is from. Afghanistan, a lot of Haonites, big sizes. What is all the fuss about? What did I miss? And I'm sure you wrote everything about it, but let's look at the layman perspective. And I just started, and I obviously didn't go there to Pakistan, even I would love to go, but not very safe at the moment. But I ordered it. I ordered it with the AI. I asked the AI, hey, look at this. Look at this rough material. Is it sodalite? How does it look? And the AI looked through the internet at a picture and said, from what I analyzed the picture, it hasn't been doctored. And yes, from the color change, it should be indeed Haonite. It's a little bit different if it's just sodalite. I mean, of course, the usual thing with the RI, how you can measure it. But what was it? And I saw fantastic stuff there, but too good to be true. And I will talk about it a little bit later. But I saw these Haonites and beautiful. I had to cut. So I bought some rough, but I bought different rough, like I always did in the past. I buy a piece of very, very rough material. Sometimes I ask the same seller, don't you have some lower material you can throw in? Something where the matrix is still there. Because not because I'm a greedy bastard, but I want to know everything about this stone. I want to know where it's burst. I want to know the surrounding. And I'm often got it, and I still keep and kept some of the stuff. It's still in my safe, nicely packed. I still didn't unpack it because it's a lot, but it's part of this rough. And then I asked my main cutter, I worked with her for, she's a cutter for 40 years. I worked with her 20 years, and I met her in Bangkok recently. A wonderful woman, and she said, no, no, I'm retired, I'm not cutting, sometimes a few stones, but no, 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 I'm also old. We're all retired. And she said, I don't want this stress anymore. I'm not, sometimes some people ask me I cut, but I don't want anymore. And I understand I'm exactly the same, but we all love James, and she is a mad woman, literally a mad woman. When she has material which is difficult, she cannot cut, she's always looking at me like, ah. She was angry. She was literally angry, but she always kept on trying. So when there was a material, and we will talk about it later, which was water dissolvable, which was brittle, low hardness, whatever, a nightmare for every cutter, she just put it aside. And after a month, she said, "Meh, look at this. I cut two more stones. Meh, still the polishing is not right." I said, but look, look, look. You got the angles right. It was not possible. How did you make it? Oh, yeah, yeah. I tried some things. I find a way. And she really tried it to trial and error. And this is part of the provenance. This is why I'm telling you this story. This is just something which is interesting when she tells me, she doesn't tell me the secret. So I'm sorry, I will not tell her secrets. She rarely tells me, but she does things like she mixes oil with water sometimes. So I ask her, how can you mix oil with water? And then she just laughs at me. This she won't tell me, but she finds so many clever tricks. One I can tell you, here's some other stones. They are just some regular stones. Here's just a chrysocolla. But what I want to show you, it's a chrysocolla. It was just cut. There were some cufflinks we made for somebody. It's a big stone. It's not important that you see. It's a big stone with a big surface. Sometimes, she said, the problem is actually not with facetting. The problem is the dop stick. When I have it on a dop stick, I can facet it nicely. I'm very happy that it finally works because all the material is difficult. But then usually most cutters come when they take it off the dop stick and it's fixed with hot wax on it. the surface comes off, especially if it's a stone with a big surface. I have holes on it, the whole polishing is gone. And I need to turn it around to polish the backside. So she found her own way, and some of the ways was insane. Sometimes she took a stone with the hand, she held it in her hand, and she was well enough to cut the facets that they are almost perfect. I mean, it was hand cut, and I appreciate because it's artist cut, not machine cut. So if some facets are not always 100%, in my case, it's the case because the material is a little bit difficult. But she told me, for example, this thing, yeah, I gave up the wax completely. So, yeah, how did you fix it? Oh, I found in your office some of this tape, and she gave me double-sided tape. I put it there. I mix a little bit with super glue on the top stick that it holds better, but the other side I put the gem on holds enough. Careful, slow cutting. Oh, slow, 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 nightmare. This woman is a legend. So I said, please, let's do it again. Not for business. Grow my collection, help me, but this time not for quantity. Let's do it for quality. Let's document everything. Let's find different variety, not just one stone. And of course, also share it with other collectors. And here, when you see this blue hound, you saw it already. I wrote the sizes there. There's none is completely clean, of course. Some are very clean, quite clean, because I only know the German material. Now I look at it and I'm amazed always, and my eyesight is also getting worse. But it is amazing. I see there are different colors. It's not a trick of the colors. There's a light blue, there's a dark blue, and you already know probably why there's different things. And then you look at the UV light, and immediately, as a layman, as a freak who wants to get the facts right, I'm asking myself, why is the color different? I see an orange, I see a red. What happened? So off they will go next week. I will be off to the Gem Lab in Bangkok. I will have my soda light groups. I hope they're Hownites. I will. I don't mind if they're soda lights because I know they come from the same place. There might be some mixtures because when you look at this might be a nice mixture, 11.64 karat Hownite. We did not cut it. It's again, provenance. I'm honest. Why shouldn't I be honest? I bought it from the internet from a seller who had a horrible cut, totally broken because, as Mariam reminded me again, oh my God, this material, it cracks the corners. Everything is broken, but I bought it because one thing, it was really cheap. Second thing is, I like native cuts. It's an art. If somebody in Afghanistan or Pakistan cuts them, and it might be a young boy for, if with not good light, with a very old machine, with a boss who is not treating very nicely, not like an artist, which he deserves to be. Oh, cut this material, money, 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 make big, quick, quick, quick. And he tries it and some corner splinters. This is not a fault in the gem. No, this is a story of somebody who cut the gem. So I respect it. Of course, when I get this stone, I'm happy to get it out. And you see, there are still some holes on the front pavilion. She told me, hole, hole. If I do it more, it become deeper. I understand it's not a perfect stone, but look how beautiful it is. And it's a recut. And I will take with this stone, this Hawin, the Hawnite, whatever. I will take in a provenance that it was a recut. And when I got this stone, I got a picture of it, how it was torn. I got the description of the seller and I know where I bought it from. And that soon this stone will go to Bangkok and we will find out if it was a soda light or a hound. And we see the level, it is included, but hey, it's 11.64 carats. It's still big. Here you see the beautiful color change. I love it. I just love it. Just my pictures are not good enough. And here we go in the nicer thing. Okay, when I learned there's new hounds, not any longer from Germany, but big sizes. Okay, more. I found out it is not in Pakistan, but in Afghanistan. Hooray. So what is rare, more rare than a nice color change, as clean as it gets, as big as it gets? Let's crack the 1 carat mark. Gemstone perfectly cut despite the difficulties in cutting. You name it. Hey, we have them also in green. I was like, You're joking. You have green Howlite, you are joking. Of course, my AI agents immediately tell him, make me report what happened. And he cited some amazing papers, gave it to me, hand nice delivered on my phone. It spoke to me and told me, green Howlites, why don't you buy one? Should I look up on the internet if there's something nice? Hell yes, of course, do it. So I bought a small collection of different, what I hope to be greenhounds, houndites. I'm quite sure they are solar light group. Look at the difference in color. Bright apple green. You will tell me why is it come this bright apple green? Why are the other ones even a little bit bigger? Why are they more included? Why is the color difference? This is I will all read in papers, hopefully. UV color change things, and hey, they are rare. I see there's a lot of material out there. So I could, if I'm the old person, money, 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 try to make it bigger, forget it. I am not getting more. I get a few samples, I cut a few stones, make the color range. Somebody said there's yellow Haonite. You can give me an answer. I don't know if it's from a different place, is it Tanzania, or if it's indeed something from Afghanistan, it's just total fake, or another mineral. You let me know, but this is my way of discovery, and this is the beauty again. I have them and I play with them under different light things. So let's see. When I looked up, I was on the internet, I was shocked. What? Pienites? I was called once Mr. Pineapple, and I will tell you later why. Certified rough and facetted pineapples, some over 100 carats. What did I miss? I was shocked. And immediately I asked my AI chat, let me know what happened. I mean, before I got an answer, I knew what happened. Look at this. This is not pineage. This is garbage. Totally garbage. Yes, nicely cut stone. You know what synthetic it is. You see it every time as a ruby, as a sapphire. It's giving a stone, making a synthetic out of a stone is as old as there is rubies and corundum, and there was mixed up with spinels, with some jewels and everything. But sorry, when did you discover pineite as something you want to extract? Where's your respect? Oh my God, this stone has a provenance. Pienites, hello. Many of you were already into gemologists when they knew there's only three painite crystals which were found. And that's what you knew of painites. And it was a holy grail, and the Guinness Book of World Records said rarest of the rare, rare, rare. Yes, three pieces. I know. I'm hunting some other gems which are said to be same rare. And now I see them everywhere. Faceted gemstones, 10, 12 karat. And then I find grand diorites, big as a hen's nest, total garbage. And they were sold as certified from some gem lab with a name in India. And after living 4 years there, everything is possible, let's say like this. But they were sold just purely for profit. Money, money, money. And they had a great feedback, and many customers who don't know what they bought because it just said certified painite, and there was a lab report there, and some negative feedbacks of people who made a test buy, because I don't think anybody who knows about this painite would buy something like this. They tested it, and eBay did nothing, absolute nothing. eBay let them there. Okay, a little bit negative feedback. Who cares? They sell mass things, mass. And they have one, they sell another one, they all look the same. Chinese cut, synthetic things. But how can you do it to the provenance of painite? Painite, a stone which still is a rare stone. And when you look at it, I saw some real painites online, they're gone. So I have a story with the painites, which I will tell you in a minute. Let's go forward. Okay, you see, these are some of the painites which I have. I played with my new camera. These are painites. One is a 3.70 carat. Of course, it's included. Of course, it's opaque. Uh, there's a piece of rough. I always keep a piece of rough, 1.4 per carat. Beautiful. It will never be cut. Just beautiful. There's a small, tiny ruby on the backside. And there was a story. How did I get so many painites? I don't know if many people know it. I had hundreds of painites. When? Well, when they were found. But there's a story connected, and I never told the story because at the time I couldn't. Now I can, it's no problem. And painlights, were super rare. I was often in Myanmar, in Burma, and I had amazing days with my Myanmar collectors. They were rough guys, they were gemologists. Many who are in Bangkok connected, they know them. These guys are bright, they're sharp. Some are laymen, but they know every stone. I remember sitting with them at night. We had some whiskey, not water, sitting together, looking through a pile of gemstones, rough stones, with a gemstone light. Everybody had one, looking at it, and they had record speed while I carefully observed one crystal, and they all looked at me, and I was like, serendipite, tourmaline, I don't know, a little bit blue, oh, easy, easy. And they laughed, and they were sorting one stone left, right. And a little pile of, would be a tough fight, we have to cut the window. They knew what they were doing. And the Indians sell this garbage as painite. Please respect. This is for me a piece of art. This is not something to market. And when I asked when I was sitting in Bangkok, I always had a good contact with the Burmese collectors, and they always came. They always come, give me a phone call that I get the money ready, because they knew, come first to me. They came first to me, then I went to other people, showed me the rough, because I always paid them in cash. At that time, it was thousands of dollars. Whatever you have, show me what you have, rough, rough, rough. And they were great. They told me, I'm not sure what this is. I think it's this. I made this test. I got certificate there, but not sure. This one, I don't know. You buy, you risk, brother, $500 for this crystal. You risk. Could be this, could be nothing. Take a gamble. Amazing guys. And I always bought, and they stayed in my house. We became really close friends. And at that time, I was in Bangkok, and I remember, I just wanted to go into rare colored, low quality diamonds. I was just fascinated seeing huge diamond and where they treated in house. I was just visiting a dealer there when suddenly Mr. Tan came. A wonderful, beautiful collector. I was very close with him. Oh, Mr. Arthur, looking, just coming, airport. Come, come, come. It's like, well, okay, okay. I stopped the trade. I went out with him. What happened? Coffee, coffee. Tired. I said, okay, what happened? And he just came from Myanmar, he told me, and he showed me, look. And he had a plastic bag, a rundown plastic bag, not even bound. And he showed to me, what is this? It was full with black crystals. There were maybe 100 of them. I looked at them, small crystals, some bigger, some quite big size. I was like, what this? Like, you guess. I was like, serendipite, tourmaline, the usual suspects from Burma, thorite. He was like, no, 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 no. You never guess. I said, no, I never guess. Ha ha ha. He said, yeah, okay, what? This pineite. I was like, pineite? You're joking. So I was on it. I realized it could be pineite. I was shocked. I know somehow I dragged him into a taxi. We ended up in my house. We looked at the crystals. I bought them all, thousands of dollars. But then I had the problem, what I'm gonna do now? Of course, I'm gonna cut it. Of course, the first pieces go to every big gem lab. One piece, painite, check it. Oh my God. I know some other stones were also leaked, but he went first to me. It's fine. But I asked him, you have to tell me one thing. You buy? Where did stone come from? I need to know. The stone with the craziest provenance of the rare gemstone market, one of the craziest, let's say it like this, where only three pieces were found, where they come from. And he told me, and I wrote it down. There was an abandoned ruby mine. They were taking out all the rough rubies and just throw it down. And all is rough. People who've been to Mogok have seen it. Piles up over the 50, 100, 150 years, whatever they use a mine. Below the summit of Hinta Tong, no idea how you pronounce it, a primary deposit of painite has been discovered. But it was not discovered in the mine. That's interesting. Found in the gravels of a small stream below the road leading to Shinkwa, close to the Yadana, whatever, another mine. This I had written down when he told me on a scribbled piece of paper, and I just kept it with this plastic bag where I had a few rough pilots. I don't have rough pilots anymore. Please don't nail me for this. And it's not a sales show. But this is part of the provenance. This is something I put in the description. I told my AI, make a description with the story together with the chemical properties. Now, my problem was with painites. What I'm doing with it, do I flood the market? Painites for everyone? Do I hold back to keep the price high? Do I lie? I said, no, one thing I don't do, I don't lie. So yes, there's a bigger pineapple, but I don't have to announce it. Keep it back. That's what everybody says. Then I started facetting some. I always had a great agreement with wonderful gemologists from Bangkok. One was Dr. Massi, one was Dr. Peretti. Both of them I respect to the utmost and hope to meet them again. I wrote Dr. Peretti an email, but he might be too busy. I want to meet them. Dr. Massi is not in Bangkok anymore, but they were wonderful. They helped my journey, my layman journey. Even they were also acquiring rough material. And Dr. Peretti, I mean, he was always in Myanmar, but I also had my channel with the collectors, and they came to me, and I had a different approach than he had, but we all did the same thing. Rare, the rarest of the rare. We loved it. And we, with this, with these gemologists, we had an agreement. When I found some material, I gave them a piece of the rough. I gave them a faceted stone. Didn't have to be big. Didn't tell them where it was, sometimes only the country, and have fun. And they looked at it. And then I made it with 2 or 3 different great gemologists. They came back with the result. If the result turned out, I knew this batch is this and this gem. Pionites, of course, caused a sensation. So once I had them, I cut a few pieces, and there's a lot of collectors I was connected. Nobody had a painite. Nobody I was connected with. Everybody wanted to have one. So I decided to distribute them. I did not want to sell them to the highest bidder, highest amount of money, saying the only one painted number 4 found, then painted number 5 found. Ah, forget it. Some were also leaking them. I don't want this. I want to give it to people who treasure it, collectors, gemologists. Everybody wants to get their hand on a little bit of rust and a piece of faceted, no matter how small. And this is how I distributed many. And this was for me something very, very, very beautiful to distribute over the world that the collectors have it and are happy. So anyhow, I don't have the painters anymore. It's another story. All the big ones are gone. It's my last one, last rough crystals. But I found something in back of my vault, which is this. Tiny faceted, and they were faceted 20 years ago. Maybe not perfect, but very, very clean, tiny painites. Beautiful, some on the reddish side. I never found a clean one, a colorless one, but I had a few bright ones. They are not perfectly clean, and I don't like the label eye clean, loop clean, because if I say it's eye clean with my failing eyesight now, well, everything is eye clean. Included quartz is eye clean, but I don't see it. So, and for some stones, as we all know, it's as clean as it gets. So this is this painite, wonderful parcel. Let's go to some rarities because painite, even it's a rarity, let's top it up a notch. I found a strange brown crystal online. What could it be? Everybody, my God, don't cut it, don't cut it. It's so beautiful. It was something really rare. I bought a few samples. I know I can get more. I wanted to see the quality, want to see, check it out, and I cut this from Burma, Hebonites. I cut 3 gems, as you see, bigger ones, 0.58, 0.38, very included, the bigger one, very, very included, fractured, you see fracture lines going through and through, 30, 0.8, one part looks like different color, even it's not, but different light absorbing. It was a light source from the side, as you see, but one is more clean and it has a totally different color, a honey amber color from, I don't even dare to pronounce this, yet we leave it. Anyhow, I document it. I just bought these 3 pieces, 3 crystals. The cutting was not perfect because when you do cutting of this very rare rough, even this ebonite cutting is no problem, big hardness. It's just very fractured, this material. And there is a hunt for me. Of course, I want a clean stone, but maybe not 100% clean stone. I know there's one half-colored stone which is very clean out there. So my hunt for ebonite is, can I get a better stone? Are there different colors? Myanmar, is there really one location or was it found differently? Because sometimes with these pinites, to go back to these pinites, these first pinites, which he brought me in a plastic bag, they were found in the gravels of this mine. They were they were found by the women. They sent the women when they stopped mining, they sent the women there, and there was an abandoned mine, and they looked for these stones, brown stones, which everybody overlooked. They brought it to the men, and they looked through tons of brown and black
Arthur,
stones.
Arthur,
Yes,
pardon my interruption, but we just
yes.
got to notice that some people are not able to see the presentation. Can we just check and make sure it's all going properly?
Or should I restart it?
No,
The
no, no,
presentation.
no, no, no. I just got a note from somebody that said that they weren't able to see the presentation. I'm hoping that that it's working properly for everybody.
Well, can somebody confirm
Oh,
it?
well, Robert Neatman says he can see it. Okay, we'll just proceed. Maybe we can move on to another gem.
Okay, yeah. Anyhow, I will speed up a little bit. I'm sorry, I got a bit lost, but yeah. Okay. There's another stone from Myanmar which I like very much, and same as the Hebonite. It's not checked by Gemstone Lab, but I'm gonna do it next week. Something which I, as a layman, identify together with my AI agent as a uh, member of the amphibole family, a parasite. I asked my cutter, how was it cut? And she said, total nightmare, total nightmare. You put it, see, broken, broken. And she showed me most of the rough material was broken. It just splinters. But she didn't give up, of course. And she, what you see is an evolution from an easy surface to something which is a little bit more facets, something like a 0.19, which is a very kind of tricky cut. Some other of these parasite families are torn, but I really like them. I like this material, but uh, I want to verify that it's really this material. So this is for me something I'm on the hunt. Are there different parasites? I only knew them in different colors. Is it really a chrome colored one? So this is the things I'm learning constantly, but I like to learn by experience, getting my hands on a rough, getting it cut, getting it verified, and then learn about it. And I really appreciate the contact I have with other gemologists. Sinhalite, location, location, location. That's everything. We know Sinhalite from Sri Lanka. It's named after this country. Sinhalite from Myanmar. Many will say, yes, it's not new. I think Tete Melis wrote something 2008, if I'm not wrong. But again, my approach. This is a piece of the rough, and I want for the provenance, I want to document this is the piece of the rough, how it looked like. This was the measurement, this was the weight, this was the shape, and a photograph it from different angles. Out of this, we cut a stone which might look like this one, a typical sample stone. And we cut a second color, and even this one, the 0.30, is flat on a background. We decided for a cut which is different. Why? We play with these properties. We want to see, and this is what the artist, this is what my cutter does. I came many years ago with cutting diagrams when I ran a company. We have to cut it like this, the reference index like this. She didn't even look at it. Later, I found she used them as my papers with the gemological properties and the cutting diagrams, which I made with GemCut. She just used it to wrap some rough minerals. She never studied it, but she had the eye for this. So they are all hand cut, artisans cut, maybe not perfect to industrial standards, but it's a living thing. And this is why, as a collector, as a curator, I like to collect different colors from this location, a little bit piece of rough, have it verified. That's a little bit the joy. And if it's something else, it's just an interesting. What could it be? Then back to my country. Mm, Clemens said he might be watching. So there are not so many gems from Austria. Well, the stones which are there are micros. Some micros we fuzz it in matrix. It's the only way. But here's something which is interesting, which I like a lot. Vorcherites in matrix. For the provenance, I got the story from a friend. He's also involved in minerals and gemstones. I know of a rare stone that found it when digging a tunnel from Styria, from Austria. It's an opal, it's an opal. And I was like, okay, interesting. Yeah, they dug a tunnel, what I heard. Okay, let's look at it. Really true. A few weeks later, he handed me over some. Here is a picture of it. Is an image stolen from Mindat. Giuliani did amazing work. I could not live without it. And my bots are happy every day when they see some of your information. Uh, Forehead in matrix, the color it gets from two poisonous things, and I mention it now because we touch another topic with it, Orphimen and Realga. What I know, the story of the tunnel is totally wrong, totally bogus. Somebody made it up, but I cannot prove it. It's found when collecting. I believe this source more. Usually somebody cuts it like this. Yes, it's a cabochon, and this cabochon, it's like a little bit of an ice cream on it, clonk on it, takes a nice polishing. Yes, it is opal. It cuts like opal. No big deal. My exact location, Vorbereiz, Holzbrückenmühle, Spielberg, Murtal, Steiermark. I have not been there, but I've been there nearby, which for me counts at it. I don't have to go exactly to this location, but I know it is in Murtal, it's this location. I look at the mountains, I walk through the forest. I'm not a gemologist. I don't go with my picks on all on my knees. Even I appreciate somebody doing this, but I'm somebody who wants to do something out of it. So when I got the rough, beautiful rough, I was aware it's poisonous, and no, I never endangered one of my cutters. We always took precaution. We knew what we were doing, and everybody who produces something like this, because people tell me, how can you produce something like this? It's poisonous. If a child eats it, I said, yes, it's your responsibility as a collector to know that it's poisonous. That's why I inform everybody it's a poisonous gem and to put it on the top shelf. And this is something where I want to touch something. I put also a Vorherheit out on Etsy or eBay, I think, and it got immediately, I got a blog. We pulled this item, it's poisonous. They also put some a summer's kite I put out because it's radioactive. Hey, I had other stones that are radioactive. And they put another stone which the AI didn't like. So my AI told me, okay, leave it, don't do anything, don't upload them again. Okay, no Vorbereits for me on Etsy or whatever or on eBay. Nobody cares. I don't want to sell. I want to present it to the people. But if I can't even tell people that they're poisonous, that it's an arsenic stone, to inform people, to teach people, people who see what is this beautiful stone, where does the color from? And I want to give information directly to somebody. If I can't do this, well, it's not my fault. One thing I forgot to mention, I uploaded the first stones on eBay, just 400 stones a month ago, and I told the AI, make some advertisement, format it, you make the title, the SEO, whatever. And I don't want to handle anything. The company is handling everything, leave me alone with my stones. But then I looked at the statistics and I saw that in a month, 4 million site impression of the 400 rare stones were shown. 4 million people. Somehow these people probably must have searched something connected with a mineral or a stone, and somehow my advertising for which I paid, my God, it's very expensive, so it's all closed. When they looked at it, when eBay showed them the search results, they showed a rare gemstone for me. And I saw some thousands of people clicked on it. And when they looked at it, they stayed on my sites. And many people recognized it. Oh my God, you're Freakingcat, you're back, and came in contact, which I really appreciated, to be in contact with collectors. But they stayed there, and many people said, I like the information. For you, it's like walking through a museum. It's beautiful. We can't wait that you upload more and different stones. So my mission was born. But let's go back. I don't want to waste all your time, and I promise I'm soon done. Let's go back to this Vorherheit. My challenge was, as a collector, a gemstone lover and a gemstone cutter, even I never cut a stone myself, where can we go next? And this is where we went next. Klonk. Facetted Vorherheit. Opal, hard enough for us. For us, opal is not a soft stone. My cutter said, polishes nicely, made a few cabochons, said, can you top it? She said, okay, I faceted here, with a little bit of matrix, beautiful, nicely faceted. We give a different cut, beautiful things. It just to show you what else we could do to elevate this stone, to show the beauty of this stone, this material from this location, provenance in my home country, coming from, and I was part of this provenance. And if a collector has it in their collection, it will this will also become part of this gemstone provenance. So I'm very happy. And for me, what I'm doing when this company is sending out the packet really nicely, gemstones, I don't have anything here now. If they pack it in, here, if they pack it in this kind of packs, they will have a sticker on it, what it is exactly, and there is a QR code on it. And the people who made the website are better than me. Said, why you put a QR code? And said, well, we can print a QR code, people can scan it, and then they are connected with the web shop where this stone comes from or whatever. And this is like your archive. Even the stone is with somebody else, the information of this stone is still there. It's like an online record. And the AI immediately suggested, put it on a blockchain. Yes, I could do it. Well, not me, the AI. I just press a button, tell it to do. So this is, I think, the future where we are going. This is something I want to explore, but not in a business sense, as a collector and a gemstone lover, step by step. So everything what I'm doing is just building up a system with the help of AI. I like it. Some people might not like it, but same as Google. Some people said, oh, this internet, and I'm still in contact with, hello, greetings to Austria, with somebody who is surely watching. If somebody who is still in the last century, Google, the AI will come same as Google came. Today we all use it, and soon we all gonna use AI. Why not use it for gemstones now to create provenances? I'm able to provide for most of the stones a complete provenance by having the AI shift to thousands, 10,000s of emails to dig out the information, compile it, put it in a version automatically for this, and the rest somebody else is handling. If somebody wants to buy one, it's fine, but I only decide what comes out, but it should be a collection for information. It's nothing to be business. I would never like to go there. So many things are just for the collectors to share it. If somebody needs a piece for the collection, they can always contact me. I'm happy to talk with collectors. I'm still in contact with them, and why not? Many things happen for me also with exchanges. I give you this, what you have there. I'm happy to be in contact with collectors. Okay, let's go to the craziest things. Once about Verity, I said, okay, rare stones, different location. Now we have it, everything. Let's look at space stuff. Somebody said, but a stone cannot be rare. Why? With this Pinite Sea, 3 stones were only found, and then 50 years later, they found many. Ha, it's not rare. This person got a point. So I said, okay, if I upgrade the scale of rarity, where can I go? And I realized, how about if I set things from a one-time experience, from a one-time happening? Here we go. For example, Palisade Fall, 2008. Why this fall? I will explain you. Palisade, we all know, meteorites came down, there are different falls, documented, some not documented. The minerals in it, you know better than me. I think it's olivine family. It is palladides. Yes, when I discovered the material, there I want to go. But when I bought the first pallasite small samples, we could not cut them. Even they were very small, they're tiny pieces. From the impact, they already, the structure, and you know best, please, I would be happy to know the details, were kind of scattered. But my cutter showed me, look, I'm trying to cut the rough and they crumble. It becomes small, small, small pieces of dust, like we know the palladides. So I couldn't cut them. But then I researched a little bit and found there's a pallasite fall from 2008 in Indonesia, from Java, and it was discovered by workers in May 2008. So they were digging for a road, and they discovered a 500 kilogram, 1,100 pounds piece of pallasite materials totally rusted away. And because it was rusted away, the olivine, the pallasite material, the peridot materials, was kind of falling out. So there were a few bigger pieces, of course. I had to buy them, and here's the last one I have. Tiny, 0.01, I think, 0.02 carats. Tiny, but look at the color, look at the clarity. And now it's not for selling. I don't want to sell them. I only have one left, and I don't know if I can get more. But I enjoy right now. My eyesight is so bad, I could never see them. At that time, 20 years ago, the cameras, I couldn't afford a professional one. But now I really enjoy, and I don't have a microscope, to look at them. And I zoom in and I see these beautiful inclusions there. And for me, inclusions are never something which are a minus in quality. It's always a plus, plus, plus. I'm not an eye clean fanatic. Inclusion, there are inclusion lovers all out there. So next stone. Once I had them, okay, big market. And if you're a collector, you collect everything. I became a crazy collector of meteorites and tektites. I went to Bohemia many years ago. I collected meteorite for here. You see a Jidad al-Harasis, an L6 meteorite from Oman. We don't just make a cabochon. No, we said gemstone cuts. My cutters looked at me laughing. I said, it's iron. I said, I know it's iron. We should facet iron. I said, yes, this is totally crazy. I said, yes, yes, yes. But meteorite collectors want to have maybe a faceted meteorites, and I want to see if possible. How can we cut iron? Well, it was expensive. It was very expensive. Cutting one, grind down everything we had, polishing. Don't ask me how they did it. And I can ask my cutter how they did it. They will rust later, so what? But hey, I could facet my Sikote, there's a mistake, Aline in Russia, Kenyan Diabolo, and I had many different, but most are gone now. These are just a few samples I have left. Then collectors, tektites. Oh my God, when I learned meteorites fall down, okay, what splashes up are tektites and what remains are impactites. Okay, I knew things and I went to Bohemia. And there's a beautiful thing when I met some and they told me, yes, yes, we were collecting. My grandfather already was collecting and they showed me big pieces. I bought them, special occasions, spoke with the miners. And they showed me, it was just after the fall in 1989, it was when I was there. And they showed me big pieces and I said, wow, this is beautiful. And I saw some carved pieces. I said, yes, yes, carving. I said, who is carving? He said, oh, my grandfather's still carving, but soon stopped, getting old. It was an old tradition which has evolved in Bohemia. They made religious symbol out of his crosses, but many other things from Moldavite, because they saw this gift from heaven, these green stones, glass. It's just glass. Was special for them. And so they started to carve. And nowadays, I think no carver exists in Bohemia anymore. And I said, I want to have something special. Don't carve me something I don't like. I buy a big stone. I want this one. Carve me a male torso, like a Greek statue. And it's beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful. I just love this Moldavite so much. And here you see other things. I don't want to bore you. Next things. How could I top this one? Now we have meteorite falls. Yes, but they fall more often. But how about a one-time thing, a one-time experience of something which changed history? Yes. Well, there's recently only one, and it was when we started the atomic age. And it was Trinitite from Trinity, of course, in New Mexico. And the Americans, the story you mostly probably know, on 16th of July 1945, they dropped the first atomic bomb. Bomb was dropped. What happened? Yeah, what happened when they found out very quickly? It was the first time, okay? They found out that the sand and debris melted, and then it's how it was observed. Then there was some tektites, molten droplets. So there should be actually droplets of impact of trinitite out there. I never saw one, but then had a lot of material which was on the ground, which was technically, I think it's a glass thing, silicate. I might be wrong. You know best. It was mildly radioactive. Here it's written there, Americanum, whatever. That's why the platforms immediately pulled it. So sorry, I can't show it there. Understandable. No big deal. But I wanted to see what happens. And I just asked the AI, dig up a picture of a trinity tide of the rough, and it found one. People are still selling it on the internet. And I looked at mine and I saw they were black. And then I remembered. And I asked the AI also to look up. I had some notes because I always took notes during cutting. And I took note that my cutter said, yes, we could cut, but look, big holes. I said, no, why? Holes are beautiful. Oh my God, the material is these holes. I love it. And they knew it was radioactive. So don't get me wrong. We didn't expose somebody. We took a lot of precautions. I spoke with Dr. Massi about it. There's another thing I will tell you in a second. But when it was cut, it turned into black. I noted it down. Why mention it? Again, coming back to the same thing, provenance. So we have something from Rarity. It's a one-time experience, but it has a provenance also where I can put in information why the colors change and so on. So as you see, nowadays it's rare. US government bulldozed the site, and it's a federal crime to remove any Trinity since 1952. So good luck. I don't want to risk a federal government in the US collecting Trinitite on a site which is closed. So the rough is collected between 1945 and 52 provenance. Next thing, thorite crystals. Yes, no longer facetted by Freakingcat, will not be facetted ever or not. There's a small story I just want to tell you. Again, for the provenance. One time, a Burmese dealer came to me and said, look, I have beautiful crystals. I said, what is it? The usual suspects. I said, it's not pynite. No, 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 the usual thing. And he said, thorite. I was like, what is thorite? I had no idea. Yeah, new crystal, find Mogok. Okay, I bought a few, didn't think much, 4 or 5 crystal, were not so expensive. I did not know they were so radioactive. He mentioned something, but I couldn't understand what he was saying. But okay, let's go to Dr. Massi, who was amazing. Again, I have to praise him at AIGS. I brought him the rough material, said, Mogok, black stones, find out, could be anything, but I need a good certificate. Let's see. He called me 2 days later and he said, okay, I'm really angry. I said, what happened? He said, no idea. He was upset. We have to meet. Come. We met. What happened? We met in his lab. And he said, I had to evacuate my lab. I was like, sorry? Yes. Because I took out the Geiger counter and the Geiger counter went nuts. What you have here is thorite. And it was like, yay, I knew it. Yes, it's thorite. I said, no, it's not yay. Are you crazy? It's highly radioactive. And here I purchased a lead box. It's inside. The facetted stone, how can you facet it? And I have to come now to a cutting factory. And he came later with the Geiger counter and I want to check everything. I said, yeah, yeah, sure. We only faceted one piece, luckily. And I told them it could be radioactive. So we had again a series of precautions that to limit the exposure. You can never limit radioactivity 100%, but we were very, very safe. And Dr. Massi, the Geiger counter, confirmed also there was no pollution. But he said, are you crazy? I had to evacuate my lab. And I got a certificate from him because it is what it is. And he put on it highly radioactive and even downloaded from the internet the symbol as you see here. Well, of course, it sold like crazy. It was not for selling. It was privately from collectors. It was not even online, and I would not put it online. Even I see on marketplaces, not an advertisement, I see on marketplaces on the internet, public marketplaces, thorite crystals being sold. That's one picture. And it's good that they're sold because people get it. They are responsible. It shouldn't be all. We all have dangerous stones. We have, and I come to it in a minute, we have radioactive stones. We don't sleep with them. We know the story of the rings in Sri Lanka, of aconite rings and so on. We do handle them with care. Next things, cutting. So the cutters among you will see cuprites. I have in 17.97, very big. I had it wrongly labeled for a long time, just wrote Russia on it, but my AI agent said very likely, and we have to research it. There should be some more papers. I couldn't find anything. Very likely it's Namibian material. Nevertheless, beautiful, big sizes. The challenges are insane. You can see 3.5 to 4 hardness on most, but the cleavage is very distinct and it's brittle as hell. I mean, you need pressure, you put it on the cutting table, it spins, there's resistance, diamonds, powder. Yeah, polishing nightmare. And you can see this is as good as it gets, the 17 one with a big, big, big facet on the top. I definitely shot it like this to show the faceting. We had to use some techniques where you can see it's kind of scraped off, but there's no way you get it better than this. Some of you can, definitely. They have better machines, they have better knowledge, they have more, well, they have different experience because my cutter is 40 years. But she cuts on a very old machine and she has her techniques and she does what she does. And I always tell to people or in the past who wanted to have their rough cut, I told them, please, she's cutting as she wants. Her shapes, her things, they might not be perfect. It's the nature of the material. She does what she does. So these are cuprites just for you to enjoy. I always love the color. I mean, For me, it's beauty to play with really strong gemstone light and just see. Also, I think there's some inclusions in it. I don't know what it is. Photographing them, so I really enjoy my time now as a collector. Then I call them water gems, Williamite. Yes, not perfectly cut, 0.70, cut 20 years ago. We know highly toxic, nightmare, dissolves in water. It took us months. But finally, and my cutter never said it, she said it's something to do with mixing oil with water, but I don't tell you how we did it. I never asked. She did it. Not perfect. It's really on it. There's no hardness. It's a softness, 2 to 2.5. Nightmare. She had to hold it in her hands. There's no way that we can put it on a top stick. So every cutting is a challenge. Smaller ones you might be holding in hands, sometimes not. Some materials you can't get better than this, but who in the world can cut Williamite? Cutting it is usually a step process, and I briefly explain it to you. Most people know it, but when we cut rare gems and we don't know, they're very soft, we don't know how it is. I buy different grades from rough materials, even to matrix, to crystals, low quality, higher quality, and only at the end we use the cleaner parts. And she just uses it to get a feel of the material. How does it split? How does it feel under pressure, under heat? How does it react to polishing powder? Does it change the color? Does the polishing powder come inside? How can I put in a dop stick? What are the angles are the best? Is it brittle? It's thousands of things. And it's a thing for an artist to do. And for her, it's intuition. And then, of course, when I had water solvables, wonderful, I researched. I was always the one in the past who researched. If she can cut some stones which solve in water, she should cut others. Let's start salts, halides, polyhalite, calcite. Beautiful. Look at the color. 14 colors. I had to have it. And just a side note, you see that I wrote it, I don't forget. That's where the US government buries the radioactive fallout. So I don't know if they're still accessible, the rough. I have no idea. Then yes, there was a mention also in Gems and Gemology about Hanksite. Because somebody recently asked me, customer, you had a big Hanksite. I still have it. It's still there. I don't want to sell it. It's beautiful. It didn't break in 20 years. It didn't deteriorate. It looks beautiful. It's nicely cut. It's huge. It's nice, and it has a mention. So there is something there. Sorry, the dog wants to go out. There is a provenance again there. And there's a part of the traditional provenance that is mentioned in gems and gemology. So, but this is all part of the gems, and I think it deserves. It's beautiful cutting water gems that are called, and we called a whole thing. I still wanted to cut sugar always. I failed. There is also wine stone. It means wine barrels form some stone. It's sugar. It's some things I don't think anybody tried. It's another crazy things where I might go in future. Let's see, I had stones which you could have a smell. I said, stone with a smell. Yes, we first said it, frankincense. So totally crazy. We could only make a cabochon by hand. It's like gum, of course, but it was another thing. We first said it, crazy things in my hand to reach the thousand. Now frankincense, it was good. It was nice for selling. It was a joke. Collectors put it there. I wouldn't go there, but I will definitely hunt after better Williamites and some other things. Then I call some gems suicide gems. And I don't mean because it looks like a candy for kids to take it and they die of the arsenic sulfide minerals. eBay will just, my God, ban it. I can't sell it on any platform. I don't want to sell it. I don't want to show it on platforms. It will be on my website, of course, with all the information which is there because the color is beyond this world. These were clean stones. I don't know how big it was, but I remember I think 5 or 6 carats, cleanish stones, beautiful from China, beautiful many years ago. But I found some and I was so excited to open them and I could not believe it. They deteriorated. There's a yellowish film on it. They didn't turn into powder, but they start to do it. They were not exposed to light, but they were still in a safe storage space for all the years in Thailand. But maybe I can recut them, but it's again for every cutter, suicide. Arsenic, poisonous, highly alert. Lawmontite. Well, it's an old picture. The gem, as you see, is juicy, it's happy. full of water after cutting. Oh my God, what a beautiful stone. And now I literally had a piece of white chalk. Looks definitely, it looks very ugly, but again, provenance. I have now pictures of before and after, and I asked my AI in all these pictures about Laumondite, do I have it? And it went on Facebook. I always uploaded on Facebook a lot of images. It had an old picture of a Laumondite. So I have a before and after. Now I could actually sell it as a Leonhardite, but I won't. But I have just something for a provenance. So even this gem is not as beautiful as it's now. A real collector will treasure it probably even more. Hey, it's exposed to oxygen. It was born and it dies. It turns into dust. It was for millions of years in the earth and conserved. And we can witness this. Wow, wonderful. I know I talk like a nerd. So next things. Yeah, here. People challenged me and said, ha ha ha, yeah. Now you cut hardness 2, 2.5. What are you gonna next? Talcum powders. Yeah, challenge was on. Next year, Tucson, they came again, the same gemologists, and this is what they did. Are you serious? Yes. I found some crystal of talcum powder. They held together. Look at the wonderful polishing. Beautiful polishing. It's still there. 1.45 carat. This one, we had bigger ones. I still have a small bag. Beautiful talcum. And I told my cutter, she said, look, it's so soft. Yeah. She's same as me, childlike joy. Yes, look, I can give nice shape. So we have facetti talcum. Hardness 1, bring it on. Okay, last thing. I bored you long enough. Crazy stuff ahead. It's a video, so let's hope it will play. Yeah, crazy stuff ahead, and now the big fluorides. And many of you also heard about these fluorides, but I always love fluorides. Come in every color, different places. Oh my God! And I got clear ones from Switzerland and everything. I just love fluoride, and we know UV fluorides and color change and whatever. They are for me the clowns. But then I had some miners, and they showed me some gem which had a form of diopside, which was called alladinite. They said, "You are Mr. Rare Gems, you're Freakingcat. You put it on your website, on your eBay channels, and we give you a few pieces for free and some rough. You cut also some, and we can introduce to the market, and we can get a trade name because it was traded." And then, okay, why not? They showed me all the papers, and the AI has it. It's a field day from the gemologists. I think they managed to do it. The company, I don't think it exists. My AI agent didn't find any contact address of this company, but I remember the miners, amazing guys. They visited me in Bangkok, we had a beer together. And they said, yeah, yeah, we are from Kenya actually with Aladdinite. I have only one piece left, not for sale. Amazing stuff, good story, but I didn't even put it in. They said, we came there, it was in Ethiopia, we are looking there, it was not in Kenya. We looked at it, and some Maasai came there, or some tribal came, and they all show rough. We looked at it, ugh, fluorides, yeah, yeah. Let us drink the beer. We had a campfire, and this a guy was putting, without saying anything, the hand in a rough, small crystal through in a campfire, and what happened was just beyond. And I'm gonna show it. So what I did was I created fucking kryptonite. They said it was kryptonite, like Superman. And kryptonite for a collector is the zenith of everything. You have kryptonite, the only thing which destroys Superman. Yes, I have it. Bring it on. And I have the proof. And here's the proof. Let's hope the video plays. No, it didn't. It's the last one. Okay. Yeah, okay. So the nicest for the end doesn't work. That's how it that's how it is. Okay, I'm very sorry. Let's give over. Thanks for the presentation. It was a long time. Thanks for everybody. I really appreciate uh, uh, being able to give this talk. I hope I didn't bore you to death. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Are there any verbal questions anybody wants to ask? Now's the time to ask Arthur your personal questions. You can unmute. Are you asking a question, Brian? Can't hear you. You're not unmute.
I can't speak. I had the stroke, but my brain is okay.
Well, that's good to hear. All right. I'd like to actually ask you, Arthur, would you be willing to work with Jolion to add some of your database material to GemDat?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one of the things is at the moment, I don't say I steal because it's public, and I'm grateful to him. I mentioned again the service he does and all the other people involved to present it to the public. It's absolute detail and it's definitely great. Even for a layperson, it's very interesting. I'm very happy to contribute whatever I can contribute. But I'm a layman,
I
I'm not
think
a gemologist.
if I've listened to you carefully, I think your contribution in your retirement is to establish an environment of provenance as part of the gem history. And I fully agree with that because one of the hardest things to do with colored and rare mineral gems is to know exactly where they came from. An awful lot of them just say like fluorite, Namibia, or whatever, and you don't have a specific location or a mine. And sometimes that's because the persons that found it don't want you to know. But for what we can get in terms of accuracy, would add greatly to the body of knowledge. So I think this is if you want to make a contribution to the gem world, Arthur, I think this would be a great thing to do to add to GemDat. And you, as a contributor to GemDat, can put anything you want into each of the categories for the rare gems. And if they don't have that rare gem that you have in their database, you can add it. So I think that what you can do is add to our readily available knowledge by putting these provenance enhanced histories of the different gems onto GemDat.
I'm very happy to do it. It's gradually, as I said, I'm on retirement, I don't rush, but very happy. My agent helped me back up all the data. I verify it. If I find a nice picture, I can always take a nice picture, upload it to GemDat, give the provenance details. I'm very happy to contribute.
And people like to see, I mean, GemDot gives us, like in Mendat, gives us an opportunity to see a variety of colors and shapes and carat weights of stones that are out there. And so for really rare stones, that sometimes that's exceedingly limited. And so to have whatever you have in your database added to that database would be a melding of great value.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, thanks, as I said, to my AI agents, this hardworking 24-hour working guy on the background, it's the real Freakingcat. He does all the work. I sit at the pool and talk with the phone, literally. And I can really say, okay, look, Stibiotantalite, just a stone. I had one, a great one, I remember, but it sold years ago, 20 years ago. I know I photographed it. Can you try to find a picture of it and the sizes and where I got it from? And the AI does it in a few seconds. And I'm very happy to share this information because this is the wealth I really want to bring to the people. It's not just the gems.
I mean, for example, I'm sure you have some, but when I was in Myanmar, I was shocked to find out that they have diamonds in more than one location. And it's not a generally held bit of knowledge. So, I understand they came from a spinel mine where they were a gravel sort of recovery situation there, but they were collecting diamonds in Mogak, and I thought, wow, that's crazy cool.
Well, you see, this is exactly the minor stories which I always loved so much and which I want to write down more and more because these are always the stories which get shared in Tucson. Or when I traveled with the miners, with the people, with the traders, with the wholesalers, with the collectors, everybody had a little bit of story of the gem, and it kind of gave the mosaic. It always showed the human involvement and also the reasons why, as you said, some don't want to disclose where it comes from. Okay, some people might be the reason greed. I don't want to show it. Nobody should rob them. I want to protect it, which is a valid reason. But other people had some crazy stories. And these are the stories you don't know. They said, well, actually, I don't have so many. I mean, I have about 50 pieces, and actually, my wife found it. I said, what do you mean? Yeah, she went over to that mine and she saw these kind of stones, but now she doesn't remember where it is. I would have already go there, but she's not so sure anymore. But she gave me these blue stones, and we see this is this rare variety of whatever they have. So
Yeah, well,
sometimes,
having the use of the AI to do your research work is very helpful. So I think this could be your major contribution in your retirement, Arthur, is to enhance our available knowledge, like readily available online knowledge by adding to GemDat.
Well, you see, what I saw over my years, and many people in the gemology and gemstone community I met personally, everybody is absolutely amazing and knows. So we have absolute genius like Jolion and others running agent they probably have already longer than I do, and they probably already have a lot of access to good data sets. But what I'm happy to contribute is my little data set. The little stories I heard, sometimes very objective. They don't have to be there. Some stories I cannot vouch for this, but why would I lie? If I don't have a story, I simply don't have a story.
Yeah, I really thank you for sharing your time with us, Arthur. And I wanted to say that we really appreciate that you've contributed in this way. And for
Can I
those
ask
who
one
remain,
question?
okay, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, sorry, I missed the first 30 minutes. In case I missed it, could you share which AI you used for your documentation?
Well, you see, when I go into something, I go a little bit obsessed with everything. It started with Gemini, the usual
Google one.
ChatGPT online ones. Yeah, fine. Like a better Google, you see the things, half of the information is wrong. Then I realized, how about a local system running on my iMac? Local system, there's great things that are called Olama. You can run your local system. It really runs on your computer. You can connect your databases, the folders with your information you have approved. You can limit the access on the internet. Said, hey, you can go to the internet, go to Mindat, go to Gemdat, see what information is there, but this information keep separate from my ones. Don't mix things. Let me first, as a human, look at the things I want to check. I don't want to dilute the information which was locked away in my vaults for so long time, which was locked away in my emails. I want to have a look at this. And then I decide what information I put together. And then I can tell it, now you do things with it, AI. And this is where the next thing comes in. In it, it was not enough that I get information from the AI. I realized, thanks to a great Austrian again, Peter Steinberg, I think his name, he created just a few months ago something called agents, AI agents. They're nowadays super easy to install. And what are they? Well, they're like staff members. They do everything online, especially for data and databases. So nowadays I can say, okay, so nowadays, let's say, Stibotantalite, find a nice image, find all the information, connect my personal thing with it, and then share it if Jolion would give me an API address or not, doesn't matter, with GenDat, the information I want to upload, and out of it also make a blog post on Facebook with a nice picture. And I have 3 items, so please give it to our logistic agent. They take a nice picture and upload it in on eBay with the correct information that more people can see it.
So
All
trust
AI,
but verify, right?
yes. For me, it's always they still hallucinate, but I also make mistakes. So sometimes the AI corrects me, but I'm happy to correct at the end because this is my responsibility. Even I have to admit quickly now, because some people are gonna see this. I just yesterday SEO optimize all my listings which are out there on eBay and Etsy and so on. I didn't hand verify all of them because again, it's a lot of work. So yes, there might be mistakes on it, but I'm human. And in the past, sometimes mistakes happened. I mixed up 2 stones. I wrote something wrong there. This is why I always said to the collector, not only that I offered when I was in the business 100% money back guarantee, but my God, you identified it as something else. Thank you so much. I know that it could be something different. I have to look at my database. Where does the rough come from? Did I make a mistake or did my seller make a mistake? So if it's not this, but this other thing, what other elements are there? Why does this trader have it? Because I have the provenance. I knew where it came from. So this is for me the interesting thing. It's I think it's treasure hunting with data and connected with gemology. I think it's just a beautiful thing to do in retirement.
Thank you very much.
I agree with you. And thank you for the question, Chris. Anybody else got a question? If not, I'd like to just make a small announcement. For our April program, I'll be broadcasting from Europe myself, and our presenter Peter Lickberg is a world-renowned as world-renowned as one of the most skilled gem miners and has been involved in unearthing some of the best gem crystals that have been brought to light in recent decades. His talk will be on the gem beryl Heliodor, on which he is uniquely knowledgeable since he has mined some of the best gem Heliodor crystals ever found and has the added advantage of being a skilled faceter. So he knows Heliodor from the gem pocket to the set piece of jewelry more than almost anyone. So please plan to mark the last Sunday of April on your calendars to see Peter Lickberg giving his amazing presentation on Heliodor. So thank you all for sticking through and attending today. And I'm looking forward to having you guys be our guests again in April. And have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you for helping us record.
Thank you, Ray.
Thanks, Ray.